Good evening and welcome to another Sunday Sessions. Don't know why Stocky's not on the scene. Let me just play about with this. He's now the only thing on the scene. Here we go. There we go. Here we go. How's it going, Stocks? You alright?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Long Saturday, long Saturday, and a long weekend in general. But
Oh yeah, you was over West Ham Saturday, weren't you? That's not the most fun of afternoons. Considering we watched Newcastle be terrible for 45 minutes first as well.
yeah. But I went out afterwards and dealt with all the bitterness.
Yeah, I just happened to fall asleep and completely missed the evening drinking session. So
Yeah,
terrible from me. But everybody, we're back. We're going to do a quick roundup. Then we're going to be talking football boots. It's not just me and Stocks for the evening. We've got a returning guest who smashed it on his debut. Welcome back to Gregs. How's it going, bro?
Yeah, good mate. Thanks for having me back for the brace. I'm usually a hat trick man, but I'll take a brace right now.
No, that just means it's pending. That means it's coming soon.
Yeah. How are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad. None of us have had a good footballing weekend, to be fair. So got to cheer ourselves up some way. I don't know whose was worse.
It's got to be me, isn't it? It's got to be me.
Yeah.
Well,
it was
if
funny.
you look at the league table, probably, yeah.
For the last 20 minutes, it's like Everton gave you hope, only to then just still laugh.
Yeah, like they're never in trouble though, really, were they? I don't know if you guys watched the game, but
oh yeah, I did.
If it weren't for the goalkeeper, it would have been 5 at half time, and I think that would have been fair. If it weren't for our goalkeeper, I thought he pulled off 2 incredible saves. But there was no way back for us, and too little, too late, and then I've never really thought Everton were ever going to throw it away. To be honest, I reckon we could have played for another 20 minutes, and it still wouldn't have mattered, or even they would have just gone and got another one.
I didn't even catch the last 20. I switched over to Forest because Southampton got one back.
Yeah.
And I thought, let me have a little look, see what's going on over there. I didn't even realise that Tottenham had scored. And then Southampton got another one. I was like, I've got to watch the end of this now, especially when they got given 12 minutes injury time.
Oh. Did anyone watch the game where Man City realised they can play football again?
I watched the first half and then got bored and was like, I'm just going to put a film on that.
The second half weren't worth it, although... was it McAfee or McAtee came on, got a really nice header.
Yeah, that was good. That great pick out from Kovacic.
Yeah,
he looks tidy, that McAtee. To be fair,
yeah, he looks good.
Yeah, wow. For being laughed at, they've gone straight back into the top 4.
I know. I looked at it earlier and was like, "Great, we're going to finish the weekend in the top 4 still." City ain't going to score 6. Okay, they went to score 6. What a donut thing that was to be. But we'll have a little look at the results. We'll go through our predictions quickly, which probably they're as terrible as they were last week, but they're still pretty bad. Started off the weekend, Newcastle 4-1. Crazy scoreline, really, but just touching on the game quickly, Bournemouth were excellent. I watched the first half with Stocks and then caught up on the second half a bit later on in the day once I'd recovered from the scoreline. And that Iriola set them up absolutely perfectly, done his homework spot on, made Dan Burn play football, nicked it off us when they could, and were clinical in front of goal. No complaints whatsoever. We were much the worst team. It could have been 6 or 7, to be perfectly honest with you. What about your game, Stocks? I've watched bits of it. You looked a bit toothless to me, but you was there in the stadium.
Yeah, proper toothless. In the first half, we had like a pretty much defensive setup, then just sort of work our way further up the field. I suppose it's easy for Palace because if you're only 2 attackers on the pitch, Kudus and Paqueta, you really don't have that much to worry about. because they can afford to, as soon as Kudus gets the ball, they can afford to like box him in. So I have 3 players around him, so it's really tough for him to get out. And as I've always complained about, there's no great pace in the team, so not good yet. Right, Paris are well deserving. But I can still see what are getting ideas to the team. I'm not actually lost.
Your mic getting a little bit swamped by your t-shirt, I think. No, it's a little bit far away.
Oh, God. Yeah, even though we lost, there's actually some coaching going on now.
Yeah.
So we just need some forward players back.
Fair enough. Hopefully you get a few of them back over the next few weeks. Don't have to suffer it too much longer, to be honest.
Yeah, it weren't a fun watch. It was bloody cold.
Yeah, it was cold in the morning when we were walking around there, and it was actually getting colder, which was weird.
No, not a good day. But I wore myself out with some beers and rum afterwards.
Fair play. Catch any of the football Saturday, Gregs?
To be honest, I didn't really. I caught the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
But no, I missed. I caught glimpses of your game. I was a bit busy Saturday morning, so I caught glimpses of your game. Obviously, when the results were coming in, and like on the old live score, like I couldn't believe it. Really, to be fair, well, I think when you got back in 1-1, I thought, oh, here we go. Like Newcastle, obviously, they'll pull through. Cream will come to the top. I never dreamt for 1 minute you'd get beat 4-1 at home. But what did I say to you? Like them morning games.
Yeah, mate.
They just throw in some dodgy results, really, to be fair.
The stadium doesn't get going. We always used to be them, and then the Monday night football, we always used to be rubbish on both of them. But yeah,
if you're saying Bournemouth played well, then fair play to them.
Yeah,
they really did. They really did.
Played us off the park. After the first goal, I think we probably had about 5 minutes where it looked like we could have gone in front, and then after that, they just took control again, and that was it. Isak didn't get into the game at all, which is a problem for us at the minute. But in some interesting results, really, well, one interesting result, which is Arsenal 2, Villa 2, which Ad actually called, to be fair, when we did our predictions the other day. And Arsenal throw away a 2-goal lead and Liverpool getting 2 goals in injury time smacks of me being title pretty much done.
I didn't, especially after they beat Spurs in the week comfortably as well. I mean, let's not asking much to do right now with Spurs and all that, but it's still a derby. They hadn't really been getting good results, to be fair, they could have scored a lot more on that day. And I thought going into this at home, Villa 5:30, I thought they'd have too much for them. I thought they really would, but they didn't. They didn't really get going at all.
Okay.
And I listened to a couple of the Arsenal fans. They're right in what they're saying. They're just crying out for an out-and-out striker. They did miss some chances. Obviously, they're missing Saka as well and all that. But no, they were they not great. They wasn't great at all, really, to be honest.
No.
Quality. 2 quality goals. That ball for Tielemans' header.
Yes. Yeah, must have run it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Watkins getting in front of Saliba, putting his head on like that. That was I thought that was a great finish and all, really, to be fair.
Yeah, both really good finishes. And then it's weird to see him complaining about one of the most clear handballs you're ever going to see, saying that not even arguing the fact that it shouldn't be handball, more arguing the fact that it didn't hit his hand when it clearly fucking did. It's just
it's clearly his hand.
Yeah.
Well, like we was, like I mentioned, I'm not defending it, but yeah, it's not for me. I'm not saying that's handball. Like I'm a Spurs fan. Look, do you know what I mean? I'm not a fan of that. It's come through like bodies. He's lashed at him. His arms in a normal position, and it's hit him and it's gone in. Like I don't really see how you can say that's handball in the rule that I believe handball should be.
Yeah, I think they've done it that way for when it goes in the net, so that it just takes out grey areas.
Yeah.
There's in a lot of the laws these days. There's a grey area that just winds everybody up. On that, it's like if it hits your hand and goes in or falls you and then you put it in straight away, handball. Simple as that. No grey areas, no opinion from the referee or VAR or if it was deliberate or could he got out of the way or anything like that. It's just straight clear cut.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
And turns out Man United haven't turned the corner as well.
Man United probably have turned the corner. The problem is they're on a roundabout. They're just not getting anything. They're just going round and round and round in the same circle.
Yeah.
They have a couple of good results and then they'd have an absolute stinker, which is bonkers.
You see that the manager, he's come out and said it's the worst Man United team in history, isn't it, that they've got?
Well, it is, but he's part of it. I said before he came in, he's kind of got to put his ego to one side and say, look, we just need to win games between now and the end of the season. Yeah. And then we can build on the plan I want to play, because he hasn't got the players. What he wants to do, he hasn't got the players. He hasn't got two highly active central midfielders. He's got one in Ugarte, and his other one's going to be Mainu, who's a good player, but isn't athletic. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to play a 3-2-4 or whatever the hell he wants to play, this weird formation?
And if you finish 13th, there ain't going to be like a clamour of people to come to you.
Nah.
You've just got to throw more money at a situation. And you know what? If you've got loads of players that are just doing it for money, eventually it comes back to bite you on the arse.
Yeah. I hate to say it, Man United's not a prestigious club like it was once upon a time, is it?
No.
It'll still have that name to players, but then they'll look at it and it'll be like, right, in the Premier League, there's going to be potentially 5 teams in the Champions League. So they're going to think, right, I'll go to one of them if they come in first. And then you've got the what they call the Big Six. If any one of them 5 go in for over Man United, they're going to, well, not Tottenham at the minute because they're in the same spot. So if any of the other 4 go in, they're going to go there first as well. So,
well, that's when it comes down to like club management. Like if you've got, especially United, if they've got players on 4 or 5 year deals, that Big Six that you're talking about, if they come in, Man United are a club that can turn around and go, no, don't want to sell him.
Yeah, they can, but if they're I'm more talking when they're trying to buy players.
Well,
so they've scouted a player. They're going for someone like a decent name that everybody knows about. They agree a deal. One of the other teams that's in Europe, or is one of the traditional Big Six, turns around and goes, we'll have him instead. They're more likely to go there now because Man United can't offer them anything at the minute.
Yeah, definitely. Right, that.
You look at some of the other coaches are doing. Like they get in there first. So like Iriola, I know Brentford have been a little bit shakier recently, but you never hear anything but praise for Thomas Frank as well.
Yeah,
Silva's still doing all right at Fulham. So, you know, I think players are so well paid wherever they go. Now they can start going to a football that they want to play.
Yeah.
Or a coach they like the ethos, or they hear good things from like fellow nationals or anything like that. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go to Man United and I'm guaranteed to be in a top 6 finish, because you ain't guaranteed European football no more.
Well, that's it. The pulling power for Man United was always go to Man United, you're going to win something.
Well, you be in the Champions League every year at worst.
Yeah. So like, with not having that factor now is where you'll get players going like they'll be umming and ahhing. Do I really want to go there? And what am I walking into?
Yeah. You get 100 bags a week, but it's not going to be much fun.
No, definitely not.
Well, it'll be an interesting few weeks either way, because if both teams, both Tottenham and Man United, if they don't start winning games, they're going to be in a bit of problems, because Everton are picking up, Wolves look to be picking up, Ipswich, although they got smashed today, and they've got Liverpool next week. If they pick up a few more points, you're right, innit?
Man United will pick up more points, or definitely pick up more wins, but overall, I would say they'll pick up more points than what Spurs will over the next 3 or 4 weeks.
I actually don't think they. Well, maybe over the next 2 weeks or so. But when your players start coming back,
they're not going to be match fit, though, are they? That's
I reckon you'll pick up more than they will.
We've got players that haven't been out for like 2 or 3 weeks. We've got 11 players that have been out for a month plus, 2 months, 3 months. and then come back. Then we don't want them breaking down. They're not going to be match fit. They're going in. They're going to be thrown into a team where they haven't played alongside for so many weeks. Alongside, obviously this Bergvall that we've got. He seems to be playing regularly now. Spence's playing regularly. There's loads of players playing regularly. I've got to be honest. I think it's cause for concern at Spurs. I really do. I hate to say it in that, but that team he's put out there today and coming off the bench, if that's all we've got for another, say 2 weeks, let's be nice. It's going to be longer, but let's be nice. 2 weeks, we get a couple of people back, then it's going to take another 2 weeks for them to get anywhere near match fit. And that, before you know it, that's a month gone.
You're
home. I don't know. I haven't had a look at our fixtures and that because I dread to. But I know we've got Man City coming up. They're going to destroy us, and teams just look at us as just an easy target now. And that team he put out there today, it's a relegation side.
Yeah. I think City's about 8 games away, though. To be fair, it's a while. When you include all games, I think it's the.
I think it got rearranged. It's early February. I think 8th or 6th or something. Or am I wrong?
When I had a look earlier, I think that was your 5th Premier League game. But you've also got two Europa League games, FA Cup game, and the Carabao semi-final. So unless it has been moved, looking at this, you've got Hoffenheim, Leicester, Elfsborg, Brentford, Liverpool, Villa, Man United, Ipswich, Man City.
Oh my God!
And it doesn't get better because your next 3 are Bournemouth, Fulham, Chelsea.
We could go down.
So it's tough. I was saying to some Tottenham fans earlier, if you get to that City game and you haven't won 3 of them Premier League games, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I think
or Leicester.
And it doesn't look like he's going to go and bring anyone in during this crisis. I mean, they're talking about getting rid of the manager, but whoever they get in, if they do that, is still going to have the same group of players. I honestly, it's and he's not going to change the style. I don't even think changing the style is going to help. If he all of a sudden he turns around and goes, "We're going to just start defending now," or stay. Our defenders ain't even good enough. We're just inviting trouble. So a lot and our senior players, as they call them, Maddison, non-existent. Son's our captain, non-existent.
Yeah,
I can't even think of another experienced player we've got. If you have a look at Match of the Day later, I don't know if they'll show many clips of him, but how bad was Porro today?
Apparently he's been terrible for weeks.
If you watch him, if he's meant to be a right back he's playing like a winger. Even for the first goal, was it? Or the second goal? It might have been the second goal. Bounding down on Dragerson. Porro's nowhere. He's nowhere near. He's nowhere near. He's on the halfway line.
Yeah, he's not even close. Normally you'd expect the right back to be on the striker's heels there, so if he takes a bad touch, he can nick in.
Well, he tried playing 3 at the back, didn't he? And again, it didn't work.
That's got to be on the gaffer, though. Surely Porro isn't just choosing to go that high up.
He's like that. As a player, he is. He thinks he's better than what he is. He can't defend. That's probably why he doesn't have him as a right back.
Yeah.
When he first come to the club, we wasn't playing that way. He had him as a right back. He's getting turned inside out every game. I think Tim Sherwood turned around and said he's probably one of the worst right backs the club's ever brought into the club. One of the worst players ever. He is horrendous. I've got to be honest. As a defender, horrendous. So yeah, we could, like you say, we could be in real trouble in the next couple of weeks.
Right, that's your little mini therapy session done. We'll get into the boot talk now. The interesting part of the evening.
What I'll come on for.
Here's a little graphic.
Oh, look at that.
Boots through the years, how they've evolved. I know it's only sort of like more of a comic graphic, but it gives you a bit of an idea. Simple question to start off. I'll start with you, Stocks. Was you a specific brand of boot type of guy, or did you sort of bounce between?
Do you know what? I bounce between mainly Nike and Adidas, but there was one pair I always wanted. I always wanted a pair of Mizunos
Oh, yeah.
because they look boss.
They are
Didn't I give
boss.
you a pair of one of my Mizunos not that long ago?
Nah, I borrowed them. I gave them back.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
They're lost.
Mate,
They're lost then.
they're just dust gatherers for me. I ain't walking out on no grass no more.
Yeah.
I can feel my knee squeaking just walking across a field before even there's a football there.
Fair play, fair play. Same question to you, really, Greg. Did you stick to the same brand or?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Yes, I did. I did buy it away from Nike and Adidas a few times, but yeah, never really stuck with that brand. It was just a kind of a off the cuff. I liked them, bought them, wore them a few times, and then went back to my old like Nike Adidas, because obviously they used to just bring them out regular, didn't they? Like the new ones, new colours in that. So, but I'm looking at them. There's a few on there that I totally forgot about, really. That I've actually had as well.
Oh yeah. Which one
Yeah.
are you looking at?
Right. So we're gonna go. Let's get big time straight away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where is that? 1, 2, 3, 6 down. 1, 2, 3, 7 down. Sorry, and then 1 in.
Oh, the Umbros.
No, I'm looking
The
at
R9s.
Oh, the Armour.
The R9s, yeah? Or the white and gold Dino.
What where it said like it had the big Nike written on the heel.
Oh yeah. I can see.
Yeah?
I can see. Yeah. I had a pair of them.
Right,
They're lovely.
I got the.
Yeah, I'm looking the other side.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I should have said, yeah, as you're looking at it, left hand side. Yeah, that's my bad. So that's poor information.
I was like, there's no way you as an Umbro Speciale kind of guy. There's absolutely no chance you wore them.
No, but I got Emmanuel Petit. Give me them. I swear. I promise you. I swear. I think I might have even still got them upstairs.
Just chucking names out there,
I had I got them.
Oh,
and
do you know what?
Same column. Then Puma ones at the top, third row down, second in.
Yeah. Do you know what? I had a pair of Puma Kings once,
Puma
in
Kings,
studs, and I couldn't get on with them.
Too bulky?
Yeah. When I was younger, I would have liked them, but when I got older, I was like, no, they're too heavy.
Yeah, I think I had Puma Kings, but I only had them in a mold. I didn't have them in a stud.
But they did look good.
Yeah.
I always like the look of it. My brother used to swear by Puma Kings.
Yeah.
It's always been a pricey boot, and
definitely the price held them length of time. Definitely.
Yeah. I don't know about you boys, right? But in my life, I forget birthdays. I forget where I leave stuff. Like if someone asked me, what did you get in your exams when you was a kid? Like, don't know. But I remember every pair of boots in what order, where I bought them, nearly how long I had them. But all the important things in life, got no idea.
Yeah.
How many boots did you buy from Cedric's?
Oh, mate.
4.
Yeah,
4 pairs from Cedric's.
I've definitely had a few pairs out of Cedric.
Mate, you're a Himes Park. I thought you might have been Rose Sports at Chingford Man.
I think I went Rose Sports for my shin pads a few times.
We're going to get into shin pads next week. Shin pads and Goldie gloves.
Mate, shin pads would be a quick discussion for me because for about 15 years I've been using the same inner sole as a shin pad.
Yeah, to be honest, you put me on the inner soles. Like in my later years, I never used to wear shin pads. Or use it to take the plastic out.
In it goes. Bow.
Yeah. But there's a few on there.
Let's put you in the hot seat here, Gregs.
Oh, yeah. Come with them.
So, each of us have picked 4 boots. One is the first boot we ever had, and the other 3 are our top 3 that we can think of that we've worn throughout the years. So, talk us through it. Top left, you've got a nice pair of Lottos there.
Yeah.
Lotto Stadios or something like that, I think they're called.
Yeah, I got them when I, 8, 9, 10 years of age. when I started playing football. First boot I had, I was like, and I loved them. I loved them. First season didn't do anything. Like I was just running around like headless chicken. Like, but I just loved them boots. I used to put them on in the car. Like before you even got there, I just loved that boot. And you know what? That's poor from it because I never got them again when I was an adult or even when I was a teenager. I think after that lotto was when I just went Nike and Adidas all the way, really, pretty much.
Fair enough.
But I loved them, like Italian made, unreal.
Back when it was real leather on a football.
Real
boot.
leather, bit of dubbing.
Oh yeah, you got to get the dubbing on them.
Did you wear them in the bath?
Mustard, they were mustard. Yeah, great boot that. Yeah, my first ever boot, those lottos, without fail.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, everybody remembers their first boot. Right, what's the next one? What's the next one you're going to talk us through? Leave. I would say leave the Copas till last because that will roll into someone else's as well. We've all had a pair of Copas. I think.
All right, cool. Let's just go through them. So the red mercurial vapors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very much a U boot. That for me is the Adam Gregory boot.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. That was my turning point, really, of moving from like left back, left mid, moving inside, playing 10 or striker. That was the boot I run with. And you know what? I bought it on the basis of Thierry Henry. Simple as that. You remember he had them in white. Obviously, he probably had them in all colours, but I remember when he had them in white, and he was just tearing the Premier League apart. And then, I don't think I got the white ones, but I bought them, them red ones, and I cut the laces, and then I burnt the end, and then I used to just tie a little knot. That's how I used to tie them up. And I scored many a goal in them. Many a goal. And it sounds stupid. I definitely got a half yard, 2 yard quicker when they were on my feet.
You know what? That was always the thing of that boot, wasn't it? If you turned up on a Saturday afternoon and someone had vapors on, you were like, they're fucking rapid.
Yeah.
They're going to be quick.
100%. 100%. If you wore them, it means you was quick. 100% you was quick. And I loved them. Weren't comfortable, if I'm being honest. And obviously, if defenders coming down on your toes and all that, like that weren't something you could run off straight away. That was a 5 minute need to regroup because like I know my toe now is black now because it's you know what I mean. Like that boot was just like wearing a slip around the house, and if someone studied you on them, like you felt it that
Yeah. I'll have to jump in on them because you give me a pair of vapors once. You always say you're quick. Use them, you'll be fine. And I used them the first game I used them. The ball came through to me. I've taken a touch. Goalie's come out, made himself big. I've gone to smash it, kick the bottom of the goalie's foot, broke my toe.
Yeah.
I never wore them again. I was just like, these boots.
They weren't. They were built obviously for quick Premier League players playing on carpets and but over Hackney Marshes, Sludgefest, they weren't a good boot to have. But that is, if you wore them, you were quick and just peel it. I scored so many goals in them thinking about it, and even taking that over like Power League, 5-a-side, 7-a-side. My first touch was magic in them as well because it was just like playing on the beach. Ball used to it was just like I just didn't have anything on my toes, So I was like, first touch, and then just strap them away. Weren't really good for finesse finishes though. Like, couldn't really get much bend on them or anything like that. But good boot that. Good boot.
I noticed they got blades. Did you prefer blades or studs?
That's a good question. I've got to be honest. I wore blades in the summer, and then had to move to a stud in the winter. But I'll tell you what I did do. when I started doing, when they started doing the stud molds.
Mm.
Yeah, so then I used to wear a stud mold in the winter because I never really used to. I couldn't get on with a stud for some reason.
Okay, so not screw-ins like a full stud, but just a molded one on the boot.
Yeah. So like there was a couple of boot guys around that used to get like a molded boot, like the Copper Mondials there, and they used to just like take out or just like shave off the rubber ones and drill a hole, and you could have. They were a combo of
copper conversions. Yeah, I borrowed a pair of them off a
so you'd
mate.
have a metal stud right at the top on the toes, and I
Mm.
think maybe 2 at the back. The rest of it was mold. They were good.
Yeah.
But I don't think you could buy them in the shop.
No, you had to see a man who knows a man.
Yeah, you had to fabricate them.
Yeah.
But
Little bit of engineering involved.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting a little bit upset now because, do you know what? I could end up going on eBay and seeing if they've got them Mondials. But you know the CTRs, the blue ones.
Yeah, CTR 360s. Love the pair of them.
So that I bought them when I was at Arsenal. Well, just working for Arsenal, but that I bought them on the basis of Fabregas. Remember when like he used to wear them, but he had the red and black ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Iniesta, I think Xavi, like all the Barcelona players and all the top players had CTRs, and I thought, yeah, let me get a pair of them. They were magic for me as well. I scored some screamers in there.
Nice.
I love it.
That's an excellent selection, to be fair.
Yeah, and the Mondials, they're just the most comfortablest boot you'll ever wear.
See, that this is one where I'm going to veer off from the pair of you because I could never get on with Mondials. They were always a little bit too thin for my foot.
Oh, I love that. I think I had about 3 pairs of Mundials.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you have them in a stud as well?
No, I didn't like the World Cup. I didn't like the World Cup studs. They were a bit uncomfortable.
That's it, isn't it? Because they weren't called. There was Copa Mondials.
Yeah,
they were the molds. They were
yeah.
the molds, and then Copa World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had them. They were comfortable, so comfortable.
The only thing that was as comfy as them for me was like the old Nike Tempos.
Oh yeah.
In a mold.
Yes, I've had a fair few.
They were I think they were my 3rd pair of boots when I was a kid. And I think
Did you have any predators?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll get to that.
We'll get onto that. That's one of Stocky's choices. As we're gonna, just before we roll on to Stockies, I'm gonna pull out a boot here that I'm not sure if you would have had, Gregs. You might have been a bit young for these, but me and Stocky in school, everybody had a pair of these, either in a stud or as an Astro.
Oh yeah, there were some beauties. Do you know what?
Diodora bombers.
You know,
this also right. You had the people that really like playing football would get a pair of these, and you know the kids that were just so shit at football, but they wanted to look good. They convinced their mum to get a pair because they thought they were boss.
These were so popular that you'd go to a party, like someone would have a party at school, you'd rock up and like half the boys at the party would have Diodora bombers on in different colours.
Oh, brilliant.
People would be there like swapping a left one for a left one, so you've got a red and a blue on each foot. It was just madness.
You know what? I tried.
I knew people that what I never had them personally. I never had a pair of Diodoras personally, whether an Astro or a boot. But looking at, I remember them because of they were such rascal colours, weren't they? They must have been the first brand that come out with like the orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
I tried asking my old man for a pair of these.
Yeah.
The disdain. I still feel it. As close as I got, he once let me buy. You know when Umbros did like the plain colour boots, I managed to get a blue pair out of him, and he still disliked me about it.
Yeah, see, that was a good thing about having an old man that weren't too into football, because after my first pair of boots, this was the pair of boots I bought for myself. I had the yellow and blue ones in the stud.
Who made them? Were they Italian made as well?
Yeah.
German made.
No, they were Italians, Diodoras.
Italian made, yeah.
Yeah, they were comfy.
The leather must have been.
Right, that was a nice little walk down memory lane. But Stocky, over to you. Slightly different selection. The Mondials are still there, but
so I spent 30 minutes on the internet today trying to get a picture of my first pair of boots. but they were so shit. I couldn't find a picture. They were like some proper how it would have been like early 90s. They were a bit 80s styles with these plain Puma ones. I couldn't find a decent picture, so in the end, I went to my third pair of boots. So the Nike Tempos, I had them in stud because my old man didn't believe in molds at that point, and I didn't have the money to buy myself, so everything was studs. So
Yeah.
them school friendlies in June, I'm going out with studs.
Basically running around on concrete in studs. Was that meant to be a Tempo then? Because that boot there is a Nike. That's a Nike Premier.
Oh yeah, I meant to get a Tempo one, but that's the closest I could find. I was disheartened after my Puma search. Yeah, so that was as close as I could find. There was another one I could have put in that I think every kid would have known about, the old Adidas Questra.
Don't worry, the show won't end without talk of Adidas Questras, mate.
Oh, I also added Adidas Questra football ball.
I can't even remember them.
Oh, mate, you'll see very soon. All will be revealed.
All right.
But we're talking our first boot here, so that was my first boot. So
before I get
proper young.
Before I get to the other, I got this other story. So Ad will know this. Where our dad used to drink and that, they used to occasionally have a beer with Ted Beckham, David Beckham's dad. And I remember he once went to my dad. He's like, "Oh, does Dad need a pair of boots?" My dad's like, he automatically thought, "Yeah, all right, yeah, he'll have a pair of boots." And he told me, it's like, "Oh, Ted might be able to get you some boots." I'm thinking, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have some Adidas Predators." He's trying to give me some bloody Gary Neville crap Deodoras. I don't want them.
Oh, no.
I was like, "Oh god!" I thought I was getting some. I was like, "No, I'm all right. I'm all right with my Nikes. Cheers." So after, what I assumed were the Tempos, I got the orange ones. I always called them the David boots. Were they the Zoom?
Yeah, they're the ones with the one that had the majestic advert.
Yeah.
Where he's got to save the ball from the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were they called? Were they not added Nike Sidewinders?
I'm pretty sure they're total 90 Sidewinders.
Yeah.
Sidewinders, yeah, that's it.
They had the laces that went off to your outside your foot, didn't they?
Yeah.
I loved them boots. I played a lot of games, and unfortunately, they died an untimely death. I was playing on a Sunday morning, and I'd got two. I was just going for a hat trick, and then the centre half slid in and crunched my foot. And as I was just about to kick the ball where his studs were already in my foot, I just ripped straight through the boot, and I had my toes hanging out.
Oh, no.
Well, the actual leather of the boot or the sole came off?
Yeah, the sole came off, so the sole and the boot just separated, and my toe was hanging out the side. I was like, I don't believe this. Luckily, my dad was watching. I was like, "Dad, can you do us a favour? Can you go home and get me other boots?" which were funny enough, the Preds, they're in the top right.
One, I can't believe you turned up to the game with one pair of boots. That's just unacceptable. But
it was over the lodge, mate. My house was opposite, and I was probably hungover.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. But before, just to echo, Ad, Copa Mundials were gorgeous.
Okay.
They looked good. They were nice and plain. And when I stopped playing and I was coaching, I didn't have to go on anything but AstroTurf. So just going out on AstroTurf at trading for a zig in my coppers whilst I made you lot run was just perfect.
No, they did make you feel like $1 million, them.
Yeah. You felt like a proper player.
Yeah.
But the Predator Manias were my favourite, and they were my favourite because I just thought they were just a gorgeous looking boot. I liked anything where the tongue stayed down. You had the elastic underneath to keep the tongue down.
Yeah.
And the ones I got were, how can I put this? They were much like getting them off the back of a lorry. Someone pinched them.
By that stocks, as we're all from East London. So
yeah. Someone pinched them. Someone got someone to pinch them out of a shop. Gave me a receipt. I paid him 30 quid, and I still had a receipt. So I was like, "If you want, you can just take them back. Get the 420 quid." like, no, I'm keeping the boots. And he even gave me a pot of dubbing in with the boots as well.
Yeah.
I think I had them boots I think I kept them for about 10 years at least. I kept them pristine.
Nice.
I had 2 pairs of them. Do you remember Popeye Russell?
Yeah.
So when he signed pro at Colchester, and because it was under the PFA, their like first year pros used to get like 2 pairs of boots or 4 pairs of boots, 2 studs, 2 molds. And because Adidas was sponsored by the PFA, that's what they used to get. Those ones, two. But and he gave me a pair of them.
Nice.
And they lasted for ages, and they were magic as well. Really, to be fair.
Did you feel like the Predator bit on the just under the laces? Did you ever feel that did anything? Was it just in your head?
Would you what Predator? What the on the insole, like
Yeah.
on the instep?
Yeah. Did you ever felt it give you much more bend or control?
Yeah. Look, I've got to be honest. If you was a ball manipulator, you know what I mean, or a passer, they were the boot for you, really. Like a lot of central midfield players used to wear them, didn't they? Like, do you know what I mean, spraying like Beckham and this, that, and the other, taking corners in them and all that, free kicks, whatever.
I used to like them for finishing.
I mean, if you
open out the hips so you can get a bit of whip round.
without a doubt. Like I thought that. I mean, they just don't make boots like that anymore. They're it's a shame, really, because
you could also take
this kind of era that we're talking about of boot.
Yeah, proper leather, and you could take hits with them, couldn't you? If you got trod on the foot, it wasn't.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, and when you smashed into people, like they hurt people, didn't they? They did with those metal blades and all that.
Yeah, they were.
Even rugby players started wearing them.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
didn't they?
I'm pretty sure Johnny Wilkinson wore Predators.
Yeah. I think Johnny Wilkinson wore Predators. That was a good boot. A real good boot. Have you seen the Beckham's new ones that he's released?
No.
Oh yeah, a new series have come out. He's resurrected the Predator, hasn't he?
Oh. Just to ask, did you do a lot of smashing into people when you was playing?
No, I didn't.
You just heard a rumor about it.
Yeah. Well, I used to watch people in them smash into people. I used to be wary of the people that used to do the smashing, and if they were wearing those kind of boots, stay away from them kind of people.
Put it this way, Gregs used to tackle like Paul Scholes. He didn't do it often, but when he did it, you knew about it because someone was in agony and it was horrible.
Do you know what? I'm not gonna. Yeah, we don't need to comment further because I was horrendous at tackling. Really, I was. Like tackling's an art, and I always felt I was a bit of an artist, but not with the tackling.
Not with the tackling. Maybe with a ball at your feet, but definitely not tackling.
Yeah.
You would have thrived these days in non-contact sport.
If your tackling was art, it was very abstract, mate. That's what I'm going to say.
You know what I never learned is, which I wish I did, but when I used to tackle or try and tackle, even if I did like tackle and I thought I tackled well, I would come off hurt. You know what I mean? But when I played with people that could tackle, Mitch, yourself, like other players I played, when they used to hit people, the other person used to get hurt and they used to carry on the game. But I used to hit people in the same way because I used to try and learn it. But I would always come off worse. Always. And I just couldn't master the art of tackling at all. But then I moved over to the vape. I went the other way. Let the ballers ball, let the doggers dog.
I thought it'd be at least a hat-trick episode before we had that one, to be fair.
What is it? No, we got to say the other one then. Give me the ball, I'll make you a hero.
Yeah, give me the ball, I'll make you a hero. By the everybody, this dickhead used to say this to me on a weekly basis, by the way. Right, another little segue before we get into my selections. The first band of after player boots, the R9s and the R10s, completely really changed the game for boots. Did any of you have either of these? I had the R10s. Later on in time, I had a pair of R10s. I didn't go anywhere near R9s when they came out.
I wanted both, but I was never lucky enough, or never ventured to either of them. Really, to be fair.
Fair enough, fair play.
I couldn't justify wearing them.
I'll tell you what, the R10s, if it was like, if the floor was soft but it was dry, they were majestic. But as soon as it rained, they felt like you was running around with concrete on your feet. They got so heavy.
You kept them for a long time, didn't you?
I've still got them because I bought them and barely wore them because of that reason. Because every time it rained, it felt like I had like extra weight on. They just held so much water. It was annoying. But if it was like the surface could take the stud, but it was actually dry, they were unreal. So comfortable as a boot.
I really wanted them. I was, but yeah, I wasn't working, so I couldn't buy them for myself. And yeah, I really wanted them. Just like everyone. When did he wear them in the World Cup? Is that when they come around?
I got mine late on, so I didn't get them when they first came out. But it must have been 2002 for the R10s. R9s were earlier than that, I know, but the R10s,
They would have been 98.
Yeah, R9s were 98, or maybe even slightly earlier than that, to be honest, when they first came out. But yeah, R10s must have been early 2000s.
Yeah.
But I bought them around 2010-ish, something like that.
I mean, that must have been the start of the make of like the Vapor, really. That looks like the shape, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Have you noticed, like, obviously we've had loads of boots, but I don't know about you two, but did you look after yours? Because I see kids now walk into training in boots, and it stresses me out. I find it quite triggering, and I want to tell their parents and go, you need to sort your life out. You need to teach your kids how to look after their boots.
So for me, if it had a screw in the stud, I would put it on in the change room because I could change the studs. But if you couldn't change the studs and it was a mold or anything like that, I would not even wear them until I was like on the grass and I knew I wasn't walking across concrete.
Yeah, I was never one of those kids that used to wear them on concrete or any of that. No.
So, it's so like, like turning up with boots covered in crap. It's not good.
Nah.
It's not good.
Not a good look. Not a good look at all. Right. My choices for the evening. They were mentioned slightly earlier on. The first boot was the Adidas Questra. Felt like you had a pillow for a tongue on the boot. It was crazy how much padding you had in it. It was bonkers.
And when it rained, it used to soak everything up. They were so heavy.
They were horrendous. They did the job. They did the job, but they were not great football boots.
Did the tongue bend over, or was it like that?
That was it. It was just rigid like that. It was like
a
you know, like the Reebok pump ones. It was tongue like.
Yeah, do you know you get the Reebok like basketball shoes in White Men Can't Jump where he pumps it. It was like that. It was so thick and it just went like up your leg. It didn't fold over or anything.
No, I've never had them.
But yeah, they were an interesting boot. And then we've got the Davids boots, the same as Stocky mentioned earlier. This boot I probably played more games. I played second or third most games in them boots. I had them for years. I've still got them upstairs. I won't throw them away. The soles ripped off. I've tried gluing it and playing in them over the last few years just because they were just so nice as a boot. Unbelievably good. But I kept them in such good condition. I would warm up in a different boot and then put them on just as we was doing like team talk at the end. I was just changing the boot just before we went on the pitch. Right, next one, I call these the Rooney Total 90s, the grey ones, top right. I bought these when I was at Barnet. That was like, well, I say I bought them. My mum and dad bought them for me. It was like my present for getting in, basically. And they were weird. I could play on like every single surface with them. I'd play on like Astro. It could be raining and sludge, and I'd still be wearing them because the studs were actually quite long and they were comfortable for everything.
Yeah.
But they were like a weird plastic. It wasn't. It was never leather. It was like a weird cosmetic plastic thing. So they were quite. I've still got them ones as well. To be honest with you, they're in slightly better condition than the Davids ones.
Yeah, I never had them, but I knew some players that used to wear them. They used to love that boot. Really, to be fair.
Good boot. Came in a few different colours as well. To be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just went for the standard grey. And then the bottom right was actually a hand me down from you, I think, Gregs.
I was going to say, I think I had a pair of them, but
I knew that, and you can barely remember.
Yeah. I was looking at them. Were they the lasers?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a pair of them. Yeah.
This boot.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't even think I wore them in a game. Or I might have started in a game and been horrendous, and I just walked off after like 5 or 10 and took them off. And I thought, no, I can't get on with these at all. I don't know if they were too big or I just didn't like them.
They must have been too big because you're a 9.5, aren't you?
Yeah, what are they? 10.
And
10 and
I normally wear a 10, so you give them to me and they fit me like a glove. Like they fit me so well.
Right, okay.
That I used to rock these over Power League, yeah. And when we played on a Saturday and we played on a nice pitch that was dry, I'd rock them over there. And I had no word of a lie. I reckon for about 4 years I had them, and they were wearable. I didn't undo the laces.
Well, just strap them in.
Just straight foot. Just put foot straight in like a slipper for about 4 years. Didn't have to undo the lace once until someone hit me with a challenge and it ripped the lace.
Oh.
Yeah,
because the laces used to be under that little blue bit, no?
Yeah, that was it. And you'd already cut them quite short, so you could just about get a knot in them, and then you couldn't see any bit where you'd done the laces up. So I just never used to undo it. Just used to slide them.
They were for people that could strap a ball in the top bin from like 30 yards, weren't they?
Yeah. I'd scored some weldies in them, to be fair.
Yeah.
Left foot, right foot, anything. It was just once you hit it.
I'll be honest, it's a lovely boot.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I've recently tried to buy another pair, but they just didn't feel right. And now that we've had the chat, it probably didn't feel right because I bought it in a 10, and I probably should have bought it in a 9.5.
No, fair enough.
I always think of them boots as your Power League boots, mate.
Yeah,
they were.
What, even undiscovered?
Yes.
Yeah, that's when you used to. Yeah. It's all coming back to me now. Yeah. That. Do you know what it was? I bought them and they were just too big, and that's why I never wore them. I think I got them the same times as I've got them Vapors the Vapors that you had off me. Were they studs?
Yeah. It was. Do you know the Vapor where you couldn't see the lace? It had like a shield over the lace.
Yeah. Like a little bit of a Jesus Christ.
Like that. So you couldn't see like most of the lace apart from the bit you did up at the top. It was all covered over.
Were they black or like mauve?
It was like a weird blue colour.
Purple sparkly thing or something, weren't they? Or blue sparkly thing.
You know what? I'm going to have to try and find them now.
Yeah, do you know what? Oh my God, I remember that. I spent £300 on a pair of them. And I bought them in both the same size and they didn't fit. And then I give them to Mitch. I remember.
I've got you give me the lasers before the Vapors. The Vapors came a bit further down the line, and I only ever wore them that one game when I broke my toe. I didn't ever wear them again.
When you was a kid, did your old man? You're like, you got to get them a size and half. You got to get them half a size bigger because once you got your socks on and everything, you'll fit them out.
I had a few of them discussions.
Yeah, like no, I just want a pair of boots that fits and are comfortable.
But you could do that with like the Mondials, the Lottos, and that because once that leather got supple, it could expand, it could shrink. Like
I wore them in the bath.
You can't find a boot that will mold around your foot like boots of years ago.
They're all plastic and light and not really.
Yeah.
When I've looked at them, because obviously I ain't buying a pair now, but you look at them because I don't know. It's like a guilty pleasure for me now. Just if I'm out looking for something else, I'll just dip in a sports shop and just have a look at the boots.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just so light.
Rascal designs now, rascal colours.
Speaking of that, I used to go up London with Taplin. Like, if we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
have nothing to do on a Saturday, we'd go up London. We'd go to all the boot shops, just look at all the weird ones. Like, oh, look at this one, like kangaroo leather. You just like sniffing the boots and like bending them in half to see what they're like.
What was that shop up London that you could get the shirts from as well? Like the retro shirts.
Oh, what? Lily
It
White.
was in Carnaby Street or something, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. There was soccer scene in Carnaby Street.
Soccer scene in Carnaby Street. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that, and you'd go to Lily White's and they'd have like cheap like modern day shirts. Because once me and Mitch, we went up. We were supposed to go Alton Towers, but got on the wrong train, so we just went to Central London and we all bought Croatia shirts.
For like £15.
Yeah.
Oh, decent. Hang on, you used to wear them, didn't you? Yeah. Where did you play for that? Was that over Furlong?
No, there was only 3 of us that had. They weren't a kit. There was only 3 of us that had them.
Oh, because didn't you play with Tom McCurran and Charlie and all that? And you had Dan Vera. You had a good
that was. Remember the Inter shirt that looked like an England shirt?
Yeah.
Wasn't that one?
I don't know. Why do I think you played in yellow or green? Like the kit was.
Oh yeah, for a little while we had the yellow Chelsea because that
was nice. That.
I always liked when we all had our England kit from the same. We all got the same England shirt, didn't we?
What, for England's Undiscovered?
Yeah.
I mean, that shirt was magic.
That team was magic. It wasn't just a shirt. The whole team was just majestic.
Yeah. Essentially, we had a team of 4 strikers at 5-a-side. We had 4 strikers and a keeper. We just.
Do you know what? We just had everything, didn't we? We had. Especially back then as well, we had players that could score, players that could smash, players that could run, players that could fight, defenders. We had a decent goalkeeper. Like, we could all pass the ball. Like, do you know what? Probably one of the best teams I've played in. Really, I haven't said that, Mitch. You know when you brought me over and I played with Didier, Mixie. Who's the other guy that used to play in the middle of the park? Diggy.
Yeah. And then we had Nathan used to play now and again as well.
Yeah. That was a good 7-a-side team, wasn't it?
That was a good side, but we played them on 5s once. I remember because I used to play between the 2 teams. And then there was a season we was in the same league on 5s. And I played for England's Undiscovered. And Mixie wanted to punch me up, didn't he? Because I kept scoring. And I just kept saying to him, don't let me shoot. You know I play, don't let me shoot. And I just kept banging it in the corner. Yeah, we smashed him. It was like 14-4 or something like that.
Yeah, no, that England's Undiscovered team was a proper side, really, to be honest. We did have everything. We had everything.
And we used to go drinking afterwards.
Have a quick look at these.
The laces tucked around that.
They were the ones. I don't think them ones are like the fully you pay 120 quid for it, but that's the boot we're talking about, and it was like the premium version of it that we had.
Yeah.
But saying that, my selection didn't have any coppers in it, whereas recent times, I'd say over the last 5-6 years when I've been playing, I now wear copper galoros, which are a little bit like a copper and a pred because it's got the tongue that folds over the.
I had a pair of them.
The tongue that folds down and hooks under the boot.
I really liked them, and they were decent price actually. I think I got mine from Pro Direct.
Yeah, they're only about 50-60 quid when they're not on sale.
That little bit of elastic band going like to hold the tongue down. That invention, so simple, but oh my god, what magic that was!
Do you remember when you had the Nikes and you used to like you'd when you clean them and then you put the pegs on the tongues to keep them folding over
to hold them down.
with your newspaper in the boots under the radiator.
I just stuff newspaper in and then you just get garden pegs and peg them right to the end and like hope they stay there. But oh my god!
And then,
or you'd tie the lace, so you'd fold it and then tie the lace over the top so that it didn't.
Lace over the top. Yeah.
And then when you took the peg out, when you first put the boots on, it stayed down. And as you played, it slowly the tongue would start going back.
Start flapping everywhere, is it? Yeah, don't. Like, oh god, I'm gonna have to buy a pair of boots now just to have a kickabout in the garden or over the field. I'm
Jeez.
gonna have to. I'm gonna have to buy them vapors again. I think. I don't know if I can. Or it's either gonna be the vapors or the CTRs. I'm gonna have to buy.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But it has to be those exact ones. Either the blue and black CTRs and those red vapors.
Go
One
for
of them.
the blue. You'd have to go for the blue and black CTRs. You haven't got the pace for a vapor these days, mate. You can't be
Yeah,
doing
no,
that.
true. I haven't got that. I haven't got the pace for them.
You can't be
Yeah,
plodding around in the vapor.
yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, it'd be embarrassing. There'd be young kids looking at me and just going, "No, he's washed. No way." That's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's a good point, really. To be honest, yeah, I'll go CTR and get them in. But yeah, oh, exactly, yeah.
Right, I think that's us for the evening. To be fair, Stocks, you was a little bit disappointed we didn't do a bit of Dennis Law on Friday. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Like one of the great British goal scorers. Sadly
I never
passed.
won. I never knew he won the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, well, that Man United team, Jack Charlton, Dennis Law, and George Best won it consecutive years in the 60s.
oh wow,
Yeah.
You know, I said to my dad, funny enough, like how good was he? And he was like, oh, like he won the. It was my dad who said he won the Ballon d'Or. And I was like, oh, all right, I didn't know that. I was like, how much would he be worth now? And he's priceless. I was like, but you don't really hear his name too much, do you? Maybe because they had George Best as well. I don't know.
yeah. I suppose it's different. I suppose it's probably different in England because he was Scottish.
Yeah,
But like you two know my dad, he was like a defender, and he was like you've heard the drunk rambles. Like he was a no nonsense player, and he
yeah.
goes, despite like seeing George Best and all of that, Dennis Law was my favourite player because he was just such a good goal scorer. Like
and you know that like, back then where you could tackle from behind,
yeah,
like any
yeah.
centre forward back then that's got accolades that could play through that era, you kind of have to wonder like what would they be like in today's game.
Or yeah,
Yeah.
not playing in like a cow pat as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
People are allowed to kick. People are allowed to tackle you above the shin pad and barely get a yellow card, and on
Yeah.
absolute cow fields.
Yeah, like got goals for Scotland, both for Man United and Man City, but still loved by both. Got to be a good player to do that.
Yeah. You know, I had this conversation like a couple of months ago. Do you think the footballers of like the 80s and 90s are better than the footballers of like the 2000s and moving forward?
Mm,
I think it's very hard to compare between eras.
I'm not saying like they're athletes now, we know, but I'm just saying that like an out and out as a footballer.
I think they're
I think they're
stronger, more
technically better
resilient.
back then than what they are now.
I'm not sure. I think they're adverse. I think in the 80s and 90s they could deal with different situations better. But now
Like,
they're just
I'm throwing out names like Baggio,
oh,
Romario.
so we're talking the creme de la creme. All right, yeah, they'd be fine today. And I think they've got the
My
mentality.
point on it is I feel that a lot of top players today would struggle a lot more going back into that era than players of that era would struggle coming into this.
Good. That's a good analogy. That really,
and that's the way I look at it. It's very hard to compare eras because everything was different. The boots were different, the balls were different. Everybody was playing 4-4-2, and it was just about who was better, who won games. There wasn't really that much difference in systems and stuff like that. So it was literally a completely different game. But I would back all of the top players and all of the ones that were probably even in a couple of brackets below that to come into today's game and be as good, if not better, than they were back then.
And I think they're strong. I think they're stronger people, stronger mentality. I think they'd have a bit more will to win. Actually, I think there were some tough people then.
But then it's kind of if some of the players would lose a bit of that if you put them in today's world as well. It was just in the world they lived in. They were just stronger people. They had more hardships to deal with at the time, and they were football players, but they weren't like how football players are now, who are basically untouchable and live in a completely different world to normal people do.
Totally, yeah.
No, it come up because as you guys probably do on Twitter, I follow like obviously them the 80s or 90s like greatest players or the greatest goals scored in that era and you think about and then I think Rio done an interview and he said, oh, when I was playing, like he used to walk out at like the San Siro and have top players waiting for him and like top centre forwards, top players. But you look around now, there's not really many. Other than like you take Messi, you take Ronaldo for the past 15, 20 years, maybe Aguero, but then you're struggling a little bit, and for like out and out centre forwards that are like a Romario, like Baggio.
Oh yeah,
Thierry.
You had your elite. Say you had your R9, who was like your elite striker back then. You could probably then reel off a list of about 15 other strikers just below them who would be elite today.
They would be, wouldn't they?
We've done a 90s team a few weeks ago, and we're doing the strikers was ridiculous. Because players like Robbie Fowler, Les Ferdinand, Tizier, they weren't getting a look in. Because you had Shearer and Cantona.
We went with a 4-4-2 and we had to pick. So we split the strikers into like a second striker, which you'd call more of your 10s now, and then your main front man. And we had 18 strikers to pick from between the two.
I bet those names are just, you go through some of them, they're unreal, aren't they, really?
Yeah.
I mean, look, even Celtic had Henrik Larsson, who like every club in Europe would have wanted. You know what I mean?
Came to Man United and just looked class at like 35 or whatever he was when he came over here. He was different.
Yeah. If we got him in his prime over here, he would have chalked up silly numbers at United. Silly numbers. But it is interesting. It is different worlds. It's this and that. But I think when I like the list of names, they're out and out top footballers from back then. I think top for watching Go Lazio when I was growing up.
Oh yeah.
No, like there are some serious players. Serious players.
Crazy, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Right, I think that's us for another week. So those who've tuned in, those who are watching back, much appreciated. Going to do the boring blurb of like, share, subscribe, do all of that. Come back for the next shows. We'll definitely be on same time next Sunday. We might squeeze one in midweek if we can all get together. But for everybody that's been here, thank you very much. See you next time.
See you later.
Peace.